So the games in this video, I have played them, fortunately or unfortunately. And I would be lying to you if I told you that while playing these games, I was not thinking to myself, geez, Wolf Guy, you really are wasting your early 20s playing this stuff. But why do we play video games? For escapism, and for fun. As long as they're fun, that's all that matters. If the games are fun, it's fine. So these games I thought were very fun, and there was just something about them that wasn't on the main part of the game that made these games get trashed in the social sphere, will you? And I'll talk about that, like what was wrong with this game and why do people hate it so much, but I'm going to give my reasons why I thought these games were good. And I already know this video, if it gets more than 500 views, it's going to get disliked into oblivion and commented or mean commented into oblivion. Please, before you do any of that, just don't do it yet. Just listen to my explanations, and then you can decide whether or not you want to dislike this video. Just hang on. So we're going to get into it here. I'm going to talk over the gameplay. There'll be clips from IGN, and then I'll get into the Metacritic score and what people were saying on Metacritic. For this video, I'm going to turn the volume on for the first 15 seconds, and I'll tell you why.
Dante, it really is you? You don't remember me?
No. You demons. Dante.
I wanted to keep the volume on for that little intro with the music. That song was so good. Never Surrender was like the theme of this game, and it was such a good song. But anyway, this game, DMC, Devil May Cry. So the reason why people did not like this game was because it was basically a reboot or a reimagining of the series. After Devil May Cry 4, this would be the fifth game, not the actual Devil May Cry 5 that we got in 2018. This was the fifth game, but it wasn't made by, I believe it was published by Capcom, but it wasn't made or developed by them. It was developed by Ninja Theory, and Ninja Theory is responsible for, what's that game that just came out? Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, or that was the first or second one. But Ninja Theory makes Hellblade, the very short game that just came out for Xbox. But Ninja Theory made this game. And this game people did not like because, like I said, the characters were swapped. And instead of having the white-haired Dante, you have this annoying kind of main character who is this moody, gothic, teenage punk guy who obviously is targeted towards teenage girls to fall in love with. And I mean, for the 360 title in 2013, the gameplay was good, the graphics were fine, the story was good, I thought. It's about I think a demonic invasion, and it's being controlled by someone in the limbo realm. And then what ends up is your brother Virgil turns, or I think he's your brother, he betrays you, and he wants to use the demon invasion for his advantage. And yeah, I thought the story was fine. The gameplay was good. Everything was good. The main thing with this game was that people did not like that it was not the normal Devil May Cry. And that's why when we got the fifth game, it was back to the original characters. Now, real quick, if we were to look at the Metacritic scores, see, the critics review is good, and we have 86 critics, but if you see the user review, it's 5.5, not too great. And you could see people just trying to review bomb, saying, this game has some of the worst dialogue I've ever heard in my life, which that's fine, but then he says, not to mention this game's gameplay is so boring and basic. I thought the gameplay was pretty good, especially for 2013. It's really bad in terms of story and scenario. The air of Dante and Virgil is gone. It's a mechanically perfect something. Graphics are also average, so you won't grin. This person can't even type, which makes me also think they're just review bombing. But right here, this person gives it a 10 out of 10 and just says a lot of good things. And he says, controversies aside. So yeah, like I said, this game had a lot of controversy with it. So let's get into the second game, and it is the game that you see in the thumbnail. Crackdown 3. This game is what I mean by the definition of just fun. Now, people might try to get into the nitty-gritty and say, oh, the story sucked. Oh, the gameplay mechanics are bad, but it's not. Guys, I also hear people say the graphics suck and that it's a good, like, it's really nice of Microsoft to still be shipping out 360 titles. This is not a 360 title, and I'm going to show you Crackdown 1 in a minute here. These graphics were not 360 graphics. This city was like a Neo, like that Neo theme, neon color theme, like kind of like cyberpunk, purple, blue, green, huge skyscrapers that are bluish, greenish. I just love the color palette of this game, and it was, I believe, 30 frames a second on Xbox One, but it just played smooth, and especially on PC, it's smooth. It is just a fun game. So the stories it's typical Crackdown. I mean, you have a cutscene in the beginning with Terry Crews, and you end up getting killed and then regenerated, and you need to take revenge on these leaders or on this evil corporation who own the city, and you take down each leader. One's a military one, one's a doctor, one's a science one, and you go to their district or their part of the city that they own, and you take out certain things like monorails or I think supply chains. And then you killed the boss, which is that leader, and then you now liberated that part of the city. It's typical Crackdown if you played the first Crackdown. The second one, I'm not too sure because I only played, I think, the demo. But yeah, this game, okay, the story isn't there, obviously. It's just a game that's about taking back a city. And so the biggest controversy with this game, what I was talking about with side controversies of why these games got bad reviews, is that the destructible city, it was supposed to run on the cloud, Microsoft's cloud, and therefore it didn't matter how powerful the Xbox One was. The Xbox One was essentially a million Xbox Ones combined through the power of Fusion, because it would just take all the processing power it needed and just put it onto the cloud, so you could do anything. And I swear they marketed it as like, you could run a game at 10K. As long as it's on the cloud, it's fine. So they showed this by showing destructible environments, and you would just be blowing up everything, and everything would be crumbling down. The city would be falling down, kind of like how they kind of were doing this around that time with Battlefield 4, when you could have destructible environments. And the game came out, and the game came out after a bunch of delays because it had a troubled development, and it did not have any destructible environments. It only had the destructible environments in the multiplayer, but no, the multiplayer came out later, and I feel like just no one played it. So yeah, everyone played this for the single player, no destructible environment, and therefore they thought this game was bad. This game was super fun. I'm sorry, this game was just super fun to me, and that's why I liked it. And if you go online and see things, like for example, if I scroll down to the comments here, people say right here, this looks like a game you'd see someone playing in a movie. Oh, well, that's not really this is what took 3+ delays and okay, well, that's a negative review. It's really nice to see Microsoft still release 360. Okay, that's the 360 negative comment one. I could have sworn, the PS4 has produced some of the greatest games ever made, while Microsoft serves up absolute. Okay, I could have sworn it had positive comments, but looking at Metacritic, yeah, it had a 60 critic score and a 4.3 audience score. Not good. Wasted potential because they wanted the environment to be destructible. Such a glacial wait. It got delayed so many times. It was shown in 2014, supposed to come out in 2016, but came out in 2019. It's crazy. And the last one was from Crackdown 2. The last game was 2010. So 9 years to get the next Crackdown. Yeah, this one got delayed. This game got delayed like no others. Bad graphics, gameplay, and I don't agree with the bad graphics. Such a disappointing game. Had so much hype. The gameplay has barely changed. But that's good. we haven't had gameplay like that since 2010. So I was fine with it. This one's in Spanish, so can't read that. So you've seen Crackdown 3, but if you were to go to Crackdown 1, just look at this. It's very, I mean, for its time in 2007, it was fine, but it's just very bland looking, very brown, dark blue, gray. Crackdown 3 looks a lot better. Just looks a lot better. All right. So the next game that I thought was pretty good, let's go to this one. Murdered Soul Suspect. So this was the game, the infamous game that came out, I think June 2014. And then the studio was shut down like 3 days later. They closed their doors 3 days later. I remember I was working in an electronic department at a store. It was called Meijer. It's kind of like a Walmart if you don't know what Meijer is. And we got Murdered Soul Suspect, and I would just see it on the cheap game wall for like $5 or $10. And I mean, no one ever bought it. But for some reason, I played this game. I think it's because it was on Games with Gold. And I just wanted to relax and stop playing Halo 5. What this game is, it's not fun per se because it's just a detective game. But, oh my gosh, they even have Just Cause 2 poster on the wall. Or 3. This game was, it was a good story because you're a detective and you get murdered and you don't know who murdered you, and you're in Salem, Massachusetts. If you know the history of Salem, Massachusetts, I thought the environment of this town of Salem was very good, and they even showed like little ghostly buildings that represent Salem from the 1600s. It was I loved the environment. The story, like you're dead right there, and you look up at the window and you see your murderer, and the whole story is just like who killed you, and it kept me intrigued the whole time. Like I wanted to find out who killed me. Like I just had to find out. I really liked the story, and that's why I thought this game was pretty good. And with the environment too, everything. I thought it was a good game. So this game, if we were to go to the Metacritic, I mean, critics 59, users 7.1. But when you scroll down here, this game captured the feeling of being a ghost because I died for real when I played it. All right, it's pretty negative review. But this person says, if you're looking for a relaxing way to spend a rainy afternoon, Murdered fits the bill. But, what does he say? But that's about it. Yeah. So this game, mostly negative, but I thought I have to respect a developer for putting out a game like this when they know it won't sell. Like, they had to have known it won't sell. Last game I'm going to get into, Battleborn. All right. Battleborn came out in 2016. What happened to this game was it came out like right after or right before Overwatch. And this is when people basically had to decide, do I want Battleborn or Overwatch? And Overwatch was so hyped that Overwatch came out, and this game people just completely forgot about. Now, this game is made by Gearbox. This is the game they produced after Borderlands 2 that came out in 2012. They developed this game for 4 years, and this game came out in 2016 at the worst time possible, quite literally. What is unique about this game? Now, I'm not going to get into really the story. I guess there was a story, I don't know, but I hear it's pretty forgettable. And there's a lot of different game modes, or like defend your tower or something. I'm going to get into the main multiplayer mode, which is basically, this game is a mix of Overwatch and League of Legends. It's basically Smite, okay? That's the game mode I played. It's like Smite, where it's a MOBA where you have towers and you're trying to get past those specific points and destroy those main towers to get to the Nexus. And there are little like grunts that you can kill, like AI mobs. I believe so, they were AI mobs. And then there are the actual champions or heroes or whatever they were called on the enemy team as well. So you spawn in with your teammates and then the mobs, and you're trying to get your enemy's towers and then their Nexus. And so, and the graphics, it's just a typical cartoon graphics. This game, if I remember correctly, for some reason was 30 frames a second on console, when I believe Overwatch was running at 60 frames on console. I just think all FPSs need to be 60 frames. Even in 2016, it needed to be 60 frames. But it's just like right here, like you're just killing, boom, 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 just boom, boom, boom. It was a very slow paced game, and that's what I liked about it. Because Overwatch is kind of, it's faster paced than this. All right. Other games that came out after that were trying to copy the trend of like 5v5 hero shooter was the guy Cliff Bleszinski from Epic, who made Gears of War. He made a game called Lawbreakers, and that was a very like fast-paced, kind of like Titanfall-ish movement, and that game died quick. There was another one called Paragon that was coming out around this time, but that game failed too. So I'm not shocked this game failed, but I just thought the combat, because there was a lot of variety of heroes with different abilities, and I just, like right here, it's just you're fighting another enemy hero, and it's just slow-paced, relaxed. It was fun. I enjoyed it for the time I played on it. And like I said earlier, is the game fun? And then I would like to also add, is it challenging? But if it's not challenging, then it wouldn't be fun anyway. So is the game fun? If it's fun, I think it was a good game. But yeah, is there anything with this game that I forgot? I really don't think there's anything else. But yeah, this game died quick. So guys, that's everything for, oh, hang on, I forgot to show you the Battleborn Metacritic. So 68 critic review score, 68 or 6.8 user review. We wish the story had a stronger narrative. Who cares about the story? It's not a single player, like it's not known to be a single player game. Like you don't play League of Legends for the story, you don't play Fortnite for the story, you don't play Valorant for the story. Somewhere in the confusion of half-baked genres, messy visuals, and flawed design are some great. So when they say half-baked genres, they can tell with this game they're trying to combine MOBA and hero shooter. Disarray is perhaps the best way to sum up Battleborn. All right, so let's go to the user reviews. The good one said, did many experimental things favorably well, but didn't get enough attention, yet the actual attention it got wasn't favorable. Art style and writing just had so much personality, rip. So this person's saying, this game did experimental things favorably well, and it did, but it just got negative attention. And then the other two reviews, this game was a massive disappointment. The premise was good. MOBA arena fights for competitive play and a campaign mode to give lore and structure to the game without needing a bunch of out-of-game sources like Overwatch. So he's saying the premise was good, but it was still disappointing. And there's always a Spanish one, and the Spanish one always gives it a 0. I don't know what's up with you Spaniards, your review bombing. Yeah, so those are my games, guys. Those games I played, and I thought that those games were a lot better than what people remembered. And I think that those games had something on the side which made them get negative press. Battleborn, it came out during Overwatch. Crackdown 3 was delayed a bunch and didn't have destructible environments. Murdered Soul Suspect wasn't Call of Duty. Yeah, it just wasn't Call of Duty. So, what was the other one? What was the first game? Let me check. Oh yeah, DMC. DMC, you weren't the guy with the white hair anymore. So people hated that. And yeah, so if you guys, that's it. If you guys want, leave a like, dislike, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.